Welcome to Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking features delicious recipes and cooking tips from the Gulf Coast's finest chefs and restaurants. Watch as popular local chefs prepare their special dishes with natural gas. Coastal Cooking is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, provider of clean, efficient, natural gas.
My guest today is Executive Chef Mark Williams from Jaco's Bayfront Bar and Grill.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm so excited to have you, and wait till everyone finds out what you're cooking today.
Well, I do have three very interesting dishes to prepare today, and really excited. I know it's been a couple of years coming, and finally here I am.
That's right.
So today, first we're going to start off with a banh mi salad. Now, banh mi is traditionally a Vietnamese sandwich that originated back when the French occupied Vietnam, and so what they brought French bread, of course, you know, and the Vietnamese did a lot of pickling of meats and vegetables. So when they're out in the rice fields, it was one way for them to be able to carry lunch, and it was one of the original sandwiches out of purpose and necessity. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to do caprese fresh lasagna rolls. And so to take on lasagna, where normally you have a bunch of layers, we're not going to do layers.
No.
We're going to wrap it up with fresh heirloom tomatoes, some fresh mozzarella that we're going to whip together to give it a nice fluffy consistency. And we're going to cut it and stand it up so that it's actually cylindrical. And then we're going to brulee it.
Oh,
it's going to be some
great.
fun. I know you told me no fire, but I had to do a little bit.
Well, under control.
Yeah, under control, under control. And then, of course, to finish off, we're going to do a take on the main lobster roll down here with what you guys call lobster, the rock lobster. Much more spiny, no claws, so it'll be an interesting fusion of the north and the south.
Okay.
But we're just going to start off with the banh mi salad, and I really like to prepare my banh mi with any variety of meats. Pork works well, chicken works well. Today we're going to use beef, and specifically Therese Major. Now, Therese Major.
What's it called?
Therese Major.
Major. Okay.
Some people say terrace, some people say potato, but you know, it's actually a muscle found in every mammal. It's also known as the petite fillet. It's in the shoulder.
Okay.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to clean this up. So what we're doing is we're just taking the sinew off, the silver skin, and we're trying to get it down so that it's just got its nice properties. Now, they call it the petite fillet because when you get inside of it, it's got really nice marbling, but it's very low in fat. So the marbling that it does have is, you know, thin to thicker ridges, but not very prominent throughout the whole piece. And it eats very similar to a fillet. In fact, some people out there actually pass it off as fillet sometimes, which is unfortunate. But as you can see, we finished this up. So we have an oblong cut of steak. The grain goes this way. And since we're going to be just doing it for a salad, I like to make some nice slices here.
And that won't take very long to cook either.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, we're just going to set this aside. Now, the ends are great for tips, stews, and that type of thing. The center, as you can see, has really, you can see the marbling that I was talking about. Not a lot,
just enough.
but just enough. And you know, a little seasoning. A lot of people aren't comfortable with medium rare, which is why, you know, in restaurants you often tend to see a lot of returns on, you know, meat that our cooks swears cook perfectly, but in actuality, in the guest's mind, you know.
Well, it's just a personal preference,
it's
isn't
a personal
it? You know, and the good thing is you can get it however you want it. So that's always nice.
All right, so we're going to do a little salt and pepper. We're just using a very light bit of salt and pepper because inside the dressing is a lot of umami already. All right? Do we know what umami is?
Tell everyone what umami is.
Umami is the fifth sense. Okay? You have sweet, savory, sour, salty, and umami. And umami can best be described as MSG, unfortunately, or like soy sauce. But really, the more eloquent way to describe it would be the non-salty, earthy tones of beef, the earthy tones of the mushroom, And really it was one of the original flavors that they didn't really recognize until later on. But MSG used to be used like salt and pepper overseas, especially with Asian cuisine. And so it's this being full of umami, you don't want to add salt because it already naturally has that kind of
taste,
salinity to it. And so we're going to get these a little bit more. I'm going to move this board out of the way now that I'm done with it. All right.
There you go.
And what we're going to do,
Those look good, Mark.
just getting a nice light sear on that. Not really caramelizing the outside. When you caramelize the outside, it makes it very difficult for things like this marinade to permeate the meat. So we're just going to drop this in here like that. Right now it's at about a rare temperature.
Okay.
Shall we kill that heat? All right, so we're just going to, as you can see, I'm going to flip that in there. And again, you don't see any type of caramelization on the outside of the meat because what I want that sauce really permeated after it's cooked. Most people will marinate before they cook, but if you have a really hot pan and a marinade that's got a lot of stuff, a lot of sugar, or a lot of things in it, it will burn. And we're just going to lay this out so you can see it. All right, so the banh mi. The banh mi really is one of my favorite salads of all time, and it's because it's so different. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some Italian bread, throw it in the oven, and we just want a light toast on that. Now in here, first we want the dressing. And this is a cilantro lime vinaigrette. You can go into your store, local store, find a lemon vinaigrette and blend it with some cilantro and garlic, and you get more or less the same thing at Jaco's. Of course, we do it from scratch, always. And then we're going to take some romaine lettuce, okay, and then a bunch of cilantro. And you want to tear it, and don't be scared of those stems. Okay, those stems add texture, and they actually have a lot of flavor.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Yeah, would you like to try one?
No, I still tear mine off.
Are you still trying yours off? Well, maybe I'll
I don't
be
know,
the
just something I have to do.
All right, and then what we're going to do is, to get that dressing inside the salad, take our bread out. We just, like I said, wanted a nice light toast. We're going to tear it.
Nothing like fresh cilantro, is it? The aroma.
Oh, yeah.
And fresh basil.
You know, I
and
hated
fresh mint.
cilantro when I was a kid. Wouldn't
Really?
eat salsa, wouldn't eat, But then as I started to appreciate food and the nuances, you know, it's just extremely fresh. All right, so what we're doing right now is we're just incorporating the dressing in the salad. And at this point, we're ready to plate. So, I'm gonna go in. I like to have some bread on the bottom, some bread in the middle. And I like to save the top for kind of the stars of the show here. All right. So what we have here are some pickled onions. Take these and kind of go around the salads like this. All right. And we'll save the jalapenos for last. We have some carrots, and both the onions and the carrots have been pickled in simple rice wine vinegar and a bit of fish sauce. All right. Are you familiar with fish sauce?
Yes, I am.
All right. Then we've got cucumbers that are merely just pickled with a little bit of lemon juice, salt, and some rice vinegar. Okay. We're just gonna fan those out. Doesn't need to be fancy. Again. All right. And then we're gonna finish off with the fresh jalapeno. And that's the part that when you're eating the salad, it's like, surprise, whew, it's really hot, but you go back for the second bite, and the third,
That's right.
and the fourth. All right,
Just all goes together.
there we go. And then,
Mark, that looks great. So nice and fresh. Everything is fresh.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the whole point, especially with the pickling. It's really bright flavors, really nice flavors. So what we're gonna do is right on the outside, just gonna place this beef. And
Beautiful.
what we have here, and I haven't seen one before.
It's our beautiful salad.
The banh mi salad, and we're just going to go
Love
ahead
it.
and let the juices.
It's our first
get in there.
dish. Let's put it right up front
So-
here. Look at that. We need to take a commercial break right here. When we get back, we're going to start our second dish from Jaco. Stay with us.
Natural gas dryers may cost a little more than electric ones, but they dry clothes quicker, making them cost half as much to run. So now who's getting taken to the cleaners? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
Our caprese lasagna rolls are next, but Mark, before we start that, what have you got in that?
You know, I was
black
wondering
iron
when
skillet?
anyone was going to bring up the fact that we have a 72-ounce center cut, prime, free range West Virginia tomahawk steak sitting next to us. It is known as the Sasquatch. It is very, very, very exquisite, and it's one of my signatures personally as a chef. I've brought it down to Pensacola, and since Jaco's and I have united, we have sold over 1,000 of them, and 998 of them have been either best meal ever or best steak ever.
Wow.
The other two were very, very happy, so to speak. But this is the Sasquatch. You got to call ahead. You got to let me know if you want one, because they are very, very fresh. I literally have a farmer friend in West Virginia whom overnights these to me, and they don't come as a steak. They come as half a cow. So it takes some time to break down, but it is a memory, not a meal. Guaranteed. Best steak.
Only at Jaco's.
Only at Jaco's.
All right.
All right. So the caprese lasagna rolls. This is my take. First, we've got fresh pasta that we make in-house, which is a big key. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all the flavors of caprese. First, we're going to spread some roasted garlic. All right, there. And what we did with the roasted garlic was simply just roast it, puree it, no salt, no pepper. I really like to let ingredients kind of shine on their own. Oops. This is our Italian cured meat bolognese simmering over here. So the difference between bolognese and an Italian cured meat bolognese is that this is made with sopressata, capicola, and different salamis, and rather than your ground pork, ground beef. And it makes for a very, very tasty, different bolognese, which complements the lightness of the caprese and the freshness. So after that, what we do is, I'm going to make this real fast. We're going to kind of fast forward. We take a ball of fresh mozzarella, and as you can see when I squeeze it, we get a lot of moisture that comes out of it, and it's important to get it nice and dry. Okay. And then what we do is we process it in a RoboCoupe with some pesto. Now you see how it's shrank down quite a bit? All right, well, that's the idea. We end up with this, a nice fresh mozzarella paste.
Oh,
and what we're going to do is we're just going to be real liberal, because we're going to be wrapping this thing up like a burrito.
Okay.
But an Italian burrito, all right?
Okay.
So we're just going to pat it on. And it's easier to work with this when it's a little bit warmer. Right after processing it, of course, you know, traveling all the way over here to Pensacola Energy, had to keep it refrigerated, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So now, what we're going to do is we're going to use fresh heirloom tomatoes. It's very important. We're going to salt this layer.
So Mark, you like using ingredients in one dish in a whole different presentation, don't you? Like you did the banh mi salad.
Yeah, I like to
This
kind
is a
of...
caprese, but in a different
Exactly,
format,
exactly. And
I guess.
for me, you know, I always put myself in the seat of the guests in my dining room. And, you know, really what we're looking for is, okay, lasagna can be lasagna, but when you get lasagna and it's wrapped up and it's standing up at like 2 tall towers, who's
Yes.
seen lasagna like that?
That's right.
Not a lot of people. So that's what I like to go for, the awe effect, you know, and that's what kind of brings a lot of people back, especially when it tastes exquisite like this. And it's very important that you salt every layer in this. You know, as you know, in capreses, You know, the tomatoes are always salted. And we're gonna finish salting that, all right? And that gives us layers of flavor. It's also called through flavor.
Okay.
The next thing we're gonna do is, you smell that?
Important part
One
of
my
caprese,
favorite.
right?
Yeah, basil. All right, now we're gonna take basil and kind of like, you know, you just use it with spinach and normal lasagna. We're gonna layer it in here. People might be thinking, is that too much basil? Absolutely not.
Never too much basil.
Never too much basil, but you know, when it cooks, it sweetens. So it does cook down when we wrap this up, and it turns into a very, very delectable piece. So at this point, we're ready to roll it. All right. So what we're going to do is we leave the last little bit on the end, and the last little bit on the very beginning. And what that does is it allows us to really get a nice roll without pushing out the ingredients. And because what you want to see is exactly that. All right?
Oh, wow.
And we want to take our knife, stuff that goodness right back into the roll. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to cut it right in half. And what
Look
you
at
would do with
that.
this is you would place this into a baking dish. You want to make sure the sides that are open are facing each other, just like that.
Look at that.
And, well, we're going to fast forward to exactly how it looks when it comes out of the oven. So what I do is I take a little of the bolognese, I put it in the bottom of a casserole dish or a baking pan, and we come up
Voila,
with
we've got
a
our
little something
finished product.
like this.
Oh,
The
wow.
caprese lasagna roll.
I love
All right, but we're not done yet. What we're going to do is we're going to get this out of the way. Yeah. And this is my favorite part, is the plating. You already know the food's good, so when it goes on the plate, that means someone's about to enjoy it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this bolognese, right dead center. Okay, smell that.
It's wonderful.
And what we're going to do is we're
Wow,
going to kind
what
of
a
make a little
dish.
nest right there. And this is the tricky part, okay? And if you try this at home, which is very easy to, just understand that it's okay if you do one at a time. You don't need to be a superhero, all right? What we're going to do, see how it's nice and stuck together? So that cheese in place. Reform. And in the restaurant, we use sizzle platters, so it slides off a little bit easier. But try to do this so that you guys could do this at home.
This is a different twist on
this
lasagna, isn't
It's
it?
a very different twist, but it's not over. So we're going to
more.
real quickly, going back to the fresh mozzarella, we're going to give it a nice little hat. Put it off to the side, kind of like a chef hat, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take small pieces of fresh mozzarella around the side, and we're going to take your favorite one of my toys, and we're going to brulee it.
Oh, wow.
Right, so,
I wasn't expecting that. How nice.
now this can be done table side, which we do at Jaco's. You can do this in front of guests at home. It's not dangerous, but it is an off factor, and sometimes it's those off factors that create memories. And that's what this is all about, is memorable.
I've never seen mozzarella torched.
No?
No.
Oh, I do it with nearly every cheese we use. It just melts, and then I go around the edge.
Oh, and you got to do the little pieces?
Yeah.
Of course.
And what that's doing also is you can kind of see the edges of the lasagna or the pasta starting to bubble. And that gives it a little bit more rigidness, a little bit more structure.
You know what I can tell about you?
What?
You take a lot of time and attention in each of your dishes.
Well, you know, I mean,
shows.
it's important.
It shows.
I can't play instruments, I can't sing, I can't draw.
But you can cook.
But I love to cook.
Yes. And you love the beauty of the dish.
I do. And then the final little detail is just,
Got your basil.
and we're going to take 5 shredded pieces of basil. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And ladies and gentlemen, from my head to your eyes and hopefully your plates, the Caprese lasagna roll at Jaco's.
And
all
only
month
at
long.
Jaco's. There you go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
A la Mark Williams.
A la Mark Williams in love.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's put it up front and center. We've got one more dish.
All right. For our final dish, we're going to do a twist on the New England lobster roll. And we're going to southernize it with the rock lobster. Coming up next.
Sounds good. Stay with us.
Cooking with natural gas is more controlled than using an electric range. But more importantly, they're less expensive to operate. Don't get burned with electric. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
And now for Jaco's lobster roll.
Yes, however, to illustrate how at Jaco's we do a lot of things tableside, I'd like to show you the final touch on the Caprese lasagna. A balsamic reduction just right down the top.
As if it couldn't get any more
Bam.
perfect. Look at
And
that.
tableside, that just goes a long, long way.
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right, now moving on to the lobster roll. So I'm from Maine, and Maine lobsters are superior. Sorry, all southern folk. But this is a rock lobster tail. And so what we did was we boiled it. We did not steam it, we boiled it. Boiling keeps the texture a lot more consistent. It's ungrainy. We then take the shell off, as you can see here, and so that's where I'm going to start my demonstration. Okay, we're going to take it and we're just going to lightly go down the back, open it up, kind of butterflied. All right, you see the natural muscles there. What we're going to do is we're going to move the top and move this part right here. All right, and then each one of those little segments comes off. And that helps maintain the consistency and the tenderness of the lobster, although Maine lobsters are much more tender, which you can get at Jaco's, the Maine lobster roll, all summer long.
Great.
But the rock lobster is very good too, and so I want to celebrate it by turning it into a delicious salad. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to give it a rough chop. Generally, when in Maine, what we use is more of the claw meat, which tends to break apart a little easier. It's a little softer, and so it doesn't need chopping. It's more of a breaking apart action. So we're just going to toss this in here. Now this is very quick and simple. Before I get started on finishing the lobster salad, though, I want to go ahead and I want to do the rolls. All right. So using the back of a spoon, what we're going to do is take some butter, and this is very New England right here. All right, and we're going to put it on a griddle. We're going to let that get golden brown. All right.
Okay.
I'll do one for you too.
So this is a New England thing? To butter the sides of
They
the
call
roll?
these New England split top rolls.
Okay.
Split on the top. Pretty simple. Very light, very fluffy, and when you griddle them, the outside caramelizes with the butter. So I'm just going to do this. All right. I'm going to quickly just go ahead with the next piece of lobster. And you want to peel out that outside membrane. On rock lobster, it tends to be tough. And what we're going for is a nice delicate
Yes.
consistency. All right, break apart.
While you break that up, tell everyone where Jaco's is located.
Now, Jaco's is located in the most beautiful part of Pensacola, in my opinion. It's right on the end of Palafox, and it's Plaza de Luna. If you walk all the way down Palafox and find yourself in the water, turn around and look at the building,
There's
you
Jaco's.
found Jaco's. All right.
Beautiful outdoor dining.
Outdoor dining.
Yes.
We
Right on
do
the marina?
parties, events. We're very dog friendly, kid friendly. It's a very fun atmosphere, and the atmosphere kind of changes depending on what time of day it is. During the day, it's that luncheon crowd, business. People that like to be by themselves or people that like to be in large groups. And at dinner time, early, we get a lot of the more romantic types of diners in, and then as it gets later, it kind of gets a little upbeat, and then it kind of goes back to the romantic side, especially when the sun sets. You've never seen
Beautiful
anything like a
sunset.
Jaco sunset.
That's right.
All right, so very, very simple. We're going to just do a squeeze of half a lemon. Make sure you don't get seeds in there. All right. And then what we're going to do is just add a little
Salt and pepper.
salt and pepper. And I say just a little mayonnaise. That's a little mayonnaise,
Okay.
isn't it? We're going to mix that up. Some people add parsley. Useless. Makes it look prettier, but really the flavor is in the lobster. And that's really the center of the attention here. Sometimes people put lettuce in it. Again, that's nice and everything, but not necessary. And, oh, there we go. So we're going to flip these over, and I just want to show you how nice and brown those are getting on each side. Turn it up a little bit. So, I want you to tell me, being from the South, what do you think
Let's see.
of this lobster?
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
That is good.
All
That
right.
is great.
And all that's left is, would you pass me a glove right here? All right, all that's left is filling the bun.
Mark, that is so
Very
good.
simple. Very simple. Now, I just want to show you this. You see that nice caramelization on the outside? That's what we're looking for. That would make a New Englander proud.
While you stuff these, I'm going to give everyone a telephone number. If you would like to try these recipes at home, you can get the recipes by calling Pensacola Energy at 436-5050 or visiting our website at coastalcooking.com.
No fuss. Just
This is
stuff
so
it in.
simple.
It's so simple, but
Delicious.
some of the simplest things in life are the most delicious. And
This is one
we
of 'em.
literally have less than 5 ingredients right here.
Wow.
And together they make a memory and not a meal.
That is
All available at Jaco's.
delicious. Absolutely. At the end of Palafox.
The end of Palafox.
Pensacola, what are your hours? You're open for lunch and dinner?
We are open for lunch and dinner, brunch on Sundays. We are going into the later seasons, so soon we'll be closing at 8 Monday through Wednesday. Thursdays will be still open 10, Thursdays through Saturday, and then Sundays will be opening at 10 for brunch until 2, and then until 8 o'clock for dinner.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
this has been so much fun.
It's been a lot more fun for me, I have
Oh,
to say. This
you
is a
did
great
such a
place. You
good
have a
job.
beautiful kitchen.
Thank
I will
you.
come and cook anytime for you.
Okay, that's a deal.
Such southern hospitality here.
Hey, you ready to eat?
I'm ready to eat.
Let's dig in.
All right, let's do
Okay,
this.
we'll see you all next Sunday for more coastal cooking.
This has been Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, provider of clean, efficient, natural gas. Join us each Sunday at 6 p.m. for more Coastal Cooking.